Indeed. Make it so. We are back in the Captain's Quadrant, returning to the movies. Yes, VHS Jace and I are going to talk about Star Trek Insurrection. You know, the one where they go and they just like talk throughout the whole movie.
Well,
And
Joe, I'm looking forward to talking to you about Star Trek Insurrection, but
Really?
we're not alone.
no,
There is a
of
third
course
person
not.
here that's also going to be talking about Star
Yes,
Trek.
absolutely. We waking up to have a lot of fun. Jason Rogaston won't be with us because he hated this movie so much he went to Egypt. So we have been graced by the presence of a queen. We interviewed a president in last week, and now a queen has joined us. Nita from the Sci-Fi Queens. Welcome back. It's been years. It's been a year.
Wonderful to be back with the boys. Love it here in Captain's Quadrant always.
Yes. So Star Trek. Oh, now I remember this as I was in high school, and the big joke was, "This is Star Trek Big Erection." You get it, you know. And this was a movie. But what are do you have any fond memories of this one?
Well, I do, but maybe we should keep to the structure of the show, Joe.
Yes.
And we've got a synopsis to do.
Oh, we have a
and then
synopsis.
We'll get into
Excellent.
first contact.
All right, let's
get the synopsis. And this week, because there is no Jason, who upped the ante last time he did.
Oh my God! What an
made a musical number, which was he sang the synopsis, which was absolutely unbelievable. We should put that clip up, Joe. Why isn't that clip up?
Oh, that's up.
We should post that.
We posted it.
No. So therefore, this week with the synopsis, I have written it out, and then let's have a look. In Star Trek Insurrection, Captain Picard and his crew stumble upon a planet full of ageist hippies who just want to enjoy their idyllic lives, complete with hot springs and communal singing. When Starfleet decide it's time to kick these blissful folks off their land to mine a magical substance, Picard finds himself in a moral pickle. With a mix of awkward negotiations and unexpected dance-offs, the crew must save the day and possibly the universe while navigating a galaxy full of bureaucratic headaches.
Oof.
Who knew Starfleet had such a bad case of not in my backyard?
Or as Rudy Giuliani, get off my lawn!
Yeah. All right. Should we kick it into first contact?
Yes, let's make it so.
Thanks.
I missed that.
All right, we'll kick it off with Nita. What was your first contact of Star Trek Insurrection?
Interesting enough, when I first saw it in the theater, like many people, I felt like, kind of like when I first started, it took a really long time for it to kind of amped up. Like it was just like watching an episode, a really long episode. And as much as I love Star Trek, I don't necessarily want to watch an episode of Star Trek for 2 hours on a big screen and pay $20 for it. Not really what I was expecting, but when it did pick up, it picked up. And it did really well when it picked up the action, the fighting. And I did enjoy the overall theme of it. But after watching, and I've always loved Captain Shaw, never had a problem with him. And when he told them at the dinner table, how he referred to that moment in Star Trek Insurrection, and he said, you just want to get your jollies on, so you started, you broke a pack and broke the laws, and I thought it was funny, but I didn't necessarily think back on it at that moment and think he was right. But then I was rewatching it for tonight, and I go, oh my God, he was absolutely right. This was all about Picard getting a little something.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah, that's why the title of this is Picard gets his groove back.
Yes, it's not the first time they've had to move a people that didn't originate in a particular planet. Yes. And although has more issues with that, doing that, he's done his job. He didn't quite do his job here.
But he did a job.
He did a job, but not the one he was told.
All right.
Maybe he got a job. I don't know.
In that cave, there's an extended scene. Oh, yes. Yes, Beverly. Who's Beverly? Oh, sorry.
That's so true.
Right, Jace. First contact.
No, to piggyback off Anita for the pacing, and you know why the pacing's so bad in this movie? The biggest problem, it's full of boring ass white people. This whole movie, and they are so vanilla plain. At no point in this movie do I give a shit about the safety of the villagers. I really don't.
No.
And to be frankly honest with you, because I'm saying this is the only white guy in the room at the moment, only white people? Are you serious? In the late 90s, we're doing a whole planet full of boring ass white people.
Yeah, I think Worf was the only person, and
no.
LeVar Burton.
No, there was
a black villager.
There
was another. They had a black alien on the bad guy side. Figures, right?
Yeah, but
no villagers.
None of the villagers.
No black people, no Latino people, no Asian people.
Listen, we barely made it into space, okay? Get away from Voyager to be in space.
But what are they influenced by the production design? Because that feels very South American village type, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did.
It's just like, and again, even another extra level of offensiveness. Like they're co-opting that design. Yeah. No, this film is, as Nita said, it really is an extended TV episode. And although some of those episodes they've done well on a TV format, when you go to a movie, especially a movie called Star Trek, especially off the back of Star Trek First, you're expecting spectacle.
Right.
Yes.
They don't really deliver that. And there are many reasons for it, as we'll kind of go through. But one of them is it's just not an interesting plot. And honestly, the bad guys are not that threatening.
No.
Like the stakes never feel high enough in this movie.
No. I don't think I fear anyone who chooses to stretch their skin.
Their skin, yeah.
I'm not trying to be afraid of you. You worried about the Botox at the face.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not scary.
And then they have like the one African American that they had, the bad guy ship was like part Triceratops. Did you notice that?
Yes.
He had this like Triceratops thing going on. I'm like,
what was that about?
Yeah. That didn't make any sense. Now I know that they do a throwaway line in the beginning saying, "Oh yeah, the Ruafo species captured another species." And I'm assuming that's that race, but they never go into it. It's just
I mean, it's got a unique opening.
Right.
It's got a unique opening in the fact that I like the reveal of Data. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, there are certain elements at the end of the film that I really enjoyed too. But overall, with going back to this movie, it's actually probably my least. It's definitely Star Trek 5 area.
Yep.
Of enjoyment level for me.
Yeah.
It's definitely at bottom of the rung. And it's disappointing, because look, I just don't know who approved the script.
It's like you said, Jace, there is a big difference between writing a script for television Star Trek and writing movie Star Trek. People want to see more action, more fight scenes, more battles, more ships blowing up or crashing. Like that's what people want to see. And you wait so long in this movie to see that.
Yeah, you do. And in addition to that, Nita, if you are going to have villages, and one of them is like about Picard getting his freak on, like give these get actors that have got charisma, or direct them in a way where they're opening. There's no offense, the lady on the planet was just
boring.
It was boring, and
it was very monotone.
Yeah, that's what
she found it interesting.
Donna Murphy. She was like,
what I didn't understand is that they gave such intriguing camera shots to her blowing into what was it? Like a flower.
And then slowing time down.
And then she's like, he's about to ask, how is this? Shh, don't ask.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you just froze time. I want to know what's happening.
What kind of magic voodoo crap are you doing? It's like, what the hell?
See, that's why you don't have people of color, because we do not do the voodoo.
No, we don't. What are
We
you
doing some voodoo stuff. We out the door.
Yeah. Beat me up. Beat me up. You know?
Beat me up right now. Because that was spooky voodoo. That was spooky voodoo.
And like made no real sense. There was no anything before that scene to really even allude to they have these powers. She has a magical power.
Yeah.
And that's where that the problem is you lose it too, because we're sold that they're just normal villagers. And the reason Picard's making these decisions about, besides being, got sex on the brain.
They sure did.
Yeah, because of the puberty cloud.
Right.
Yes.
That's what they set up. It's the red puberty cloud they go in, and everybody's got to get their freak on. Besides that, that's like he's standing up for the innocent.
Yeah.
These people have magical powers. They could probably just stop it all themselves.
Yeah.
And they have warp capability. Yeah, they're technologically more advanced than the Federation.
Yeah, they know how to fix data.
If you could fix data without a problem, you are advanced. So, and that wasn't their planet, and they had only been there for a very short amount of time, because 20, 30 years, that's a short amount of time to be in a planet all by yourself. There's nobody else there.
Yeah, especially when you have like regenerative abilities and you're 300 years old. 20 years is
Can I ask a question though?
Yeah.
Why in the hell do they the bad guys fly the other side of the planet and land there?
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
Why destroy the village?
right.
Is it
was anger?
No, it was personal vengeance.
Because the bad guys the bad guys were a part of the Baku. They were technically Baku.
Yeah,
they separated and then started to
kicked out because they were jerk offs. That's what it was.
Because they wanted technology. And the Baku wanted to be Amish and said, no, we don't want technology.
That's why
and they said, we want technology.
Yeah.
But you know what I can't link into? I buy all that. But is that enough to drive that guy to want to kill?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, in my mind, no.
I mean, he wasn't out there to execute him. The plan was to put him in the cage, the holographic cage, transport them, and that's maybe the end game. But they sold it at the beginning. It's just a thing of transportation.
Exactly. And what I don't understand is why did the Federation have to extract everything in the ring of that planet to the point where it's unlivable?
Yeah.
When has the Federation ever done that? They're the ones who came up with the Genesis device.
Yeah, that's right.
And it makes sense.
But this is the obviously the trope that continues in this movie that even at the time of this movie coming out, we're getting sick of the evil admiral.
Yeah, the Badmiral.
The Badmiral.
And it's
so tired of the Badmiral.
Yeah.
And honestly, I like that actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
His performance
sucked.
Nah, didn't care for him at all. And I'm happy he got stretch like Stretch Armstrong in the end.
Yeah.
Deserved it.
Yeah.
I like a good facial, but that's taking it to the next level.
Yeah, exactly. You know, one of the things I did like about this movie was the nostalgia of rewatching it and going, oh, this was the first movie I didn't see with my mom and her best friend. From Star Trek 4 all the way to First Contact, it was always over the three of us, but she moved. And then my mom became disabled, so she couldn't go to the movie. So I saw this on my own with, I think one of my friends. And we just opened up the super multiplex cinema, which is called New Rock City. And I remember seeing that, and they had the biggest screens at the time. The sound was supercharged. I was like, this is cool. And I remember leaving, that wasn't so bad, and then I watched it again and goes, no, wait, this is boring.
But you see, it goes to show you your environmental stimuli.
Yeah.
It affects how you react.
It does,
especially in the cinema, especially when you're anticipating something so much.
Right.
So it's almost like a coping mechanism to be in denial.
Right.
That was great. Like when the first time I walked out of Star Wars Episode 1, that was fantastic. It was brilliant. It's a masterpiece. And then it took me a while to realize.
This was trash. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what was really evident in this too? how bad some of the effects were.
Oh my god, I
Like,
was just gonna say that.
Look,
Yes.
When that ship opened up, it was like that part's totally
every
a separate
shot
CGI than
looked
the other.
aged in like
Yeah.
PlayStation 1.
So good.
graphics.
Yes. Completely agree.
And it's the
Mhm.
first film, I believe, that they didn't use a model, correct?
Correct.
This is all CGI
CGI,
now.
yeah.
And it makes a difference because when the models are in there and they light it and they use CGI to support it, you can so tell. And yeah, this was bloody awful effects, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you should talk about some of the
Absolutely.
things I did like, though. And I think we all should talk about some of the positive things in this. I really dug the Riker, Deanna Troy.
I'm gonna put up that image if you don't mind.
Fun. You know, he got a couple of one-liners. I liked it. I liked it. If it was just those two that were getting, you know, a bit hot under the collar in the way of being affected by the puberty cloud, I'd be great. I'm totally fine with it. It's just that everybody, you know.
Mhm.
But then again, the other great thing is Worf, who the weirdest, lamest excuse why he has to hang around for this adventure. There's no real
Exactly.
reason for him to be in this mission at all. But he's there.
Yeah.
But he's there.
Well,
He's
pick
the
up
Gorsh.
Mr. Wall
The
from Deep Space
Gorsh.
Nine.
Yeah. Yeah, the Gorsh was excellent.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Just the fact that, especially like because you guys don't do things in halves, do you?
No.
The Riker said to him, and just how humiliated. Just
Yeah.
Michael Dorn's reaction. Like, oh, I'm just
Yeah.
Like I went through this once. I gotta do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time. Yeah.
But
My-
right, it didn't
yeah.
make sense, right? Why he
Yeah.
was there.
Right.
It didn't make sense.
Well,
but
apparently,
they needed it in there because
because
he
he's
was
part,
part
of
of the
the
original.
Next gen.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
But
apparently,
come up with a
there's
story, right? Come up with a story that makes
no,
sense.
but apparently there was something that on the script that never made it to being filmed, where they actually go to Deep Space Nine and you interact with, I think it's just Quark and Cisco,
Yeah.
because it was right before that show ended. It was like Deep Space Nine was ending the next year, so they're in like
In
the whole
99
Dominion.
ended. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
so the whole Dominion thing was going on, and they mentioned the Dominion issues and whatnot.
I do.
So so originally the original script I hear is a far superior film, and there is it's the Deep Space Nine throw where you get Cisco. I'm not sure if he didn't want to do it because it was too small, or they just ran out of money because the budget got
Or
cut.
time, Joe. That could have been time. Who knows? I mean, like
Yeah.
you got to remember, it was November in '96 when we get First Contact. This thing is in theaters less than 2 years than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is also a source of some of the problem with the production and why
They were
the
exhausted
quality-
from making the first one, and it
Yeah.
takes years to do just the recording of the people part, and then add
Yeah.
all of the special effects and all
Right.
of that
It's an-
stuff. That's another
Yeah.
year, 2 years sometimes for them to come out. That was really back to back.
Yeah.
You know,
It was, and I think
yeah.
that might work in TV land, of course, but
Right.
when you're doing something that
Movies.
is,
Mhm.
giant,
Yeah.
big
For
budget
me,
kind of
the
film.
most I thought the most impressive moment or the special moment for me in this movie was when Captain Picard is on the planet and Geordi's on the planet. He goes up to him and he turns around and his eyes are like
I'm
yours
gonna
and
throw up that
mine.
image just for 1 second.
And yes, and he
Let's
goes,
finish
"This
it.
is the first time I see a sunset the way you see it."
Yeah.
Because his eyes are mechanical, so
Mm.
they see things in a more kind of board-like kind of way, mechanical. He doesn't see colors the way we do, and he's seeing for the first time the way eyes were meant, and it was so beautiful. And he's like, I love seeing, but at the cost of other people, I don't think I can do that. And I thought that those moments with LeVar Burton saying these things and, Geordi expressing that was really pivotal, because you see that emotion of him feeling, wow, I'm seeing a sunset is so exciting. But then knowing he has to give that up, and saying it is for the right reason that I give this up, and seeing in his face a sense of satisfaction. I'm okay with that. That was really important, and I think I'm glad that they kept that in there, because I think it humanized this movie and it gave this movie a little bit of purpose, because it really was all over the place as far as the reason for this movie.
Right.
That's the biggest problem, is a lack of a very strong foundation of the idea. That's really what is at issue here. How about you, Joe? What's the moment? Is that bit of the pew pew? I'm sure they stood out.
Oh yeah, you know that. I can't. No, my love of this movie, F. Murray Abraham. He hamming it up. He was hamming it up in this, and him screaming like that. That shot.
He's a
great actor.
Amazing actor.
Yeah. Underutilized.
I didn't like the extra cheese. I would have
really
just had one slice of cheese with him, but he
was like,
4.
He gave me a government brick cheese.
You need that welfare cheese. That's really impossible to cut no matter how.
You gotta cook it in order to cut it. Yeah. Like, let me eat this.
You gotta saw it. And for some reason, it doesn't melt.
No, that's why it makes the best. That's why it makes the best grilled cheese sandwiches, because it doesn't melt your steak. Just the bread is toasted and that just gets a little squishy. But yeah, F. Murray Abraham was a great villain. He was a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, he was excellent.
Right, and
he's
a Shakespearean actor, just like Patrick Stewart. I thought that was a great play on each other. The only thing I wish we got is if they were in each other's ships, facing on the view screen like a classic Khan, General Chang from Star Trek 6. I think if we got that juxtaposition, I know probably some Star Trek fans would have been like, "Yeah, but they did that already." Pushing up the glasses. But
I'll push up the glasses of that.
Yeah,
I just say it's derivative at this point. You know what I mean? And to me, because you can think about it, you just had the ball queen.
Yeah.
Dope.
So dope.
And then you serve up. Sorry. He's a great actor in a good performance. Right. But essentially it's not the same.
No.
You've got to have different villains. Why do they always have to be the evil, vengeful general? Nefarious. And Star Trek's way smarter than that. That's the problem. Yeah. It's just, I feel like this film, I don't think the writers backed themselves in.
Right.
Yeah.
Really kind of go for it,
I felt like it was almost a reunion where they were trying to catch the audience up on what was happening with the TNG crew. It was too much at the same time trying to get Picard laid, because he only gets laid every 10 years, apparently.
Yeah.
And, you created a captain that's not the Kirk romancing girls from all over the planet. Let him be that. He's not a womanizer, and giving him someone to get involved with every 10 years and play it out to be romantic when it really wasn't, because you left. That was a hit. That was, hitting and quitting it.
Yeah.
There was no romance. You're just making it into something that is not. It didn't really sit well with the image that we have of Picard. I think that giving the romancing to someone like Riker, he's a hit and quit.
Yeah, he's your Kirk.
Actually, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Didn't around this time, according to the law now, according to this period of time where Picard is just being a man-ho, shouldn't him and Beverly have been hooking up?
Yes, they
been in that relationship period where he gets her pregnant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And talk where is Beverly Crusher in this film?
She shot one of the drones. The slew of drones. She shot one.
She gets so disservice as a character. In this
big time.
She's a fantastic actress.
She's a wonderful person and in person too. So
but it's like she was a glorified cameo. That must have been so insulting for her.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So again, thank you, Terry Metalis, because he gave her
he really
substance
did her right
in that series. Yeah, he fixed that for her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The other thing that I love about this movie is Data. Brent got a lot of time.
I love him
in this. You got this.
Probably Data Prime. He's really got the character down pat. We know who
Right.
Data was. I didn't particularly love the interaction with the boy too
Oh.
much.
Because you
No,
got to
not
see
really.
Data's childhood type of thing going on. Like,
It was
Man
creepy.
done that multiple
it
times.
was creepy.
Hey, right when he's talking about the legs and that sitting
Oh,
there
yeah,
with
that
the
seems
boy
kind of ditty.
by himself
Yeah.
when everyone else has walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
waiting for Chris Hansen to come in the scene.
Excuse me, Mr. Data. Oh,
Yeah. See, here's the problem with that whole scene that they were
Put this baby on
trying.
him down. Yeah.
The problem with how they were portraying Data was they were trying to give you early TNG Data where he was childlike. He was still learning and growing. He hadn't been activated for very long, and he was trying to come into his own. We're past that. We got emotion chips. Let's move on. That was creepy. That was creepy.
But hold on. They specifically said no, his emotion chip was left on the Enterprise.
No, but I'm saying
And
that
was
he
shut off
has
and
an emotion
restarted.
chip.
Right, he has it, but he
one.
didn't. Yeah,
he didn't
but
use it, but he has one.
Yeah.
He's built relationships. He's had
Yeah.
relationships.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I mean, he's interacted with the Borg Queen in a way that
Yeah. Oof.
I think that moment, that innocent, cringy moment with the child. I mean, I think that the actor tried his best not to be cringy about it. I think he did a phenomenal job not being cringy, but the writing was cringy. It
But
really was. That was not
service him
necessary.
big time. Because if you think about it, that is a regression of character, correct?
Yes.
He's gone through this journey in the last film, and then we conveniently write out that he is not growing emotionally. Now, isn't that the way to go with this character? If he's got emotions, how much material there must be to mine for him to exploring those emotions over the film, and just to turn that source of, I reckon, great material off.
Yep. That's my point. They worked so hard in TNG and in all the movies before that to develop and grow Data, to bring him back 10 years. That one scene, acting like a little kid, like that's not necessary because you're an android. You should be growing and moving forward, not going backwards. So you can never be a child. At one point, you need to get over that. Like I feel like they have him hanging on to something that he can never do anything about, and I don't think an android would do that.
Yeah. The other thing about that, though they look like they're ready to deliver the most bomb-ass folk album ever, the dialogue in this scene was awful.
Yeah.
I like some of the dialogue, the writing in this was just kind of like,
you know, you wonder, again, this was a rush script. So this is probably the second or third draft they did. But do you think it's around this time period the cracks of Star Trek start to emerge from a storytelling perspective? I'm meaning the Michael Bergman, Michael Piller era. They're creatively spent.
I think so.
Yeah. And also, I didn't understand, and maybe you guys can explain this. I genuinely never understood why Riker said no uniform, no orders. Since when has the captain needed a uniform on for you to follow his orders? The man has given you orders in his pajamas, and you've taken his orders. That didn't make sense.
No.
Well, they dismiss so many of their own ethics in this film. It's ridiculous. Don't even get me started on the like it's nuts how they just throw all that out the window. And just for again such a low stakes plot. It's really low stakes because the universe was never in trouble. Let's face it.
Exactly. It was just that group of 200-300 people.
600.
600. I mean, come on. That's not a lot of people.
No, it's not.
And they could have been.
That's on an apartment building in New York.
What people are we talking about? The boring ass white
The white guy of the group said that just in case.
Don't cancel us.
I'm saying I'm the white guy. I'm boring.
So boring. This was the most boring Star Trek movie, I think. And all of the
and it's a real shame. What's so perplexing about it is it's off the back of the TNG's best film.
Yeah.
So it's
And they
hit
had
the
so
mark.
much material that they could have written about, because Deep Space Nine was finalizing the Cardassians. You had the storyline with Janeway still going on. There was so much Star Trek that you could have taken from and added a whole entire action-packed movie to, and it would have included Worf no matter how you played it
Oh
out.
yeah, we'll
Well, what
figure it
you're
out.
talking about is what they would do today, Nita. We would have
Yes.
an event film, which is kind of like what Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's an event film where you bring in all the Star Wars series and those characters will be
Yeah.
in there over a couple of films. And that's what they should have done in Star Trek.
I agree.
This film could have been
Absolutely.
about a massive battle in the Dominion War and
Yeah.
bring the Enterprise in, and they're there to help.
Yeah,
Because
they're
that's where
defiant.
the heart of the storytelling was at that time on television, right?
Yeah.
It was wartime. And it's what a missed opportunity not to do a proper war picture with that crew.
Yeah. Wow, that's a great point. Totally.
Yeah, excellent.
Totally.
Absolutely.
They should have
Yep.
done.
I
And
think
they
they
would today.
wanted.
And
I
they,
think, yeah.
Yeah,
I
today
think
they
they
would've
wanted that other
Yeah.
movie so bad that they rushed through it. They didn't think it through. They didn't give it time. They didn't give that cast time to rest. People don't realize how much it takes to do these movies for these actors. And that's why some of them take 6-7 months before they start a new project,
Yeah.
because they need to regenerate. It's very exhausting.
it's
And
so,
had they given that,
it so feels like a contractual movie.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yes.
made this movie because they're under contract.
Yes.
oh,
Not because
absolutely.
they really wanted to make this, like,
Right. Yeah.
this film. And which is a shame, because at this point, man, we love every single one of these characters.
Right.
Like,
These are our family.
even if you've only seen the movies, this is the third movie.
Yeah.
You've already built up a rapport with it, let alone us who watch the series and all that kind of thing. It's again, that's an executive decision also as well, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because
Yeah.
an executive's made some of
And
these
it's
choices.
interesting because it affects any movie you make after.
Yeah.
Because
Nemesis
people are going to
suffered
go, do
greatly.
I really want to watch this on the first day it's out when the last one was disappointing? And
Yeah.
you can't blame
That's
people
right.
for questioning that.
And a great point to that, Nita, is the overreaction. Not to spoil
Yes.
the next movie we'll review, but the overreaction and attempted overcorrecting in the next film, and that turns out horribly as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me ask you a question. So at this time, the technology has gotten so good on the television shows. Deep Space Nine looks amazing at this point,
Oh,
and
yes.
Voyager looks even better. Do you think that a lot of people were just kind of like, I can just stay home and watch Star Trek?
Why for what this
The-
film?
Yeah, the effects, because like this movie was
At that time, you're right. You've got two
Yeah.
television shows on a week
right.
at that specific period, correct?
Yeah.
Voyager's still going, and Deep Space Nine is still going.
Mhm.
So yeah, that could have hurt its box office.
I
But
agree.
at the same time, in 1996, that was happening as well.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
they got one of their biggest box office hits. It comes down to make a good movie.
right.
Yeah.
And they just failed at making a
Yeah.
good movie.
I think that in the 90s there was that whole mentality in Hollywood of let's put out, movie 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
have it in the contract without really thinking through, and they were putting out movies, and they were exhausting the staff that by the time the second or third one came,
They were done.
the quality was not the same.
It felt like they were out of ideas, which is
Mhm.
the most bizarre thing to think, because Star Trek is limitless with its
Yeah.
ideas and concepts.
Exactly.
Yeah. They
It
could
I
have
think they were
Absolutely is.
trying to hit a bit of a Voyage Home vibe with this one. It's a bit more lighthearted. The jokes are a bit
Yeah,
more.
there's a lot more jokes. No,
Yeah.
I
They're
think
trying to
this was
keep
Star
it-
Trek 5 for sure. Star
You
Trek
reckon it's
5.
more Star Trek 5 vibe?
Yeah, because remember all the jokes that with McCoy and them on the
Double
rock.
dumbass.
Yeah, double dumb. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
But you
think that-
see, that did not work.
no,
No.
it didn't
And
work.
you can't go when you're making a movie. One thing I do know is you don't go back; you go
No.
forward.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Let's
I will
go
say
forward.
there are a couple of jokes that do land, though.
Oh,
The
yeah.
one
I mean,
about
you look-
smooth as a.
Yeah, yeah,
Bottom.
And
Not
Andrew's
with
on
Bottom.
bottom.
But the way they sell it is great.
yeah,
And the one when Picard goes up to Worf and go, "Have you been in a fight?" And it's the
Yeah.
Gorsh.
right,
And-
right.
I just love Patrick Stewart's kind of like, Well, it looks fine. Like that whole look he does cracks me up every time.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, then you're going, but even then it feels forced, doesn't it? It's like we need to insert a joke here.
Right.
It's not organically happening because of the situation.
Right.
And
But you see, that's what happens when you get a crew like TNG's crew and you put them in a position where things are rushed, because that natural connection that they will have with each other, you don't see it flowing as well.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the funny goofs on this movie that I love to bring up is that because you brought up the smooth of the android bottom, Troy comments that she's never kissed Riker with a beard before, and she was like, "Oh yeah." But and Troy had kissed Riker in an episode we did earlier this year's Menage a Troy. As well as several other occasions in TNG. Yeah, and he had grown.
That's what I did think that when I watched that, and I thought, "You sure?"
Yeah, no, they had yeah. So, and I like to something you brought up was the growing the beard when TNG really took off. This is the opposite. This is the shaving the beard. The movie sucked. So
exactly, they should have left him with the beard.
Yeah,
he's back with it. He never not has the beard after.
Yeah, no, that was it.
Again, I think they were trying to make it fresh, but it just
it fell flat.
Didn't ring true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it is kind of weird to have him shave the beard because that's such a visual change for the audience to have to adapt to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the last time he didn't have a beard was 1987.
Yeah.
Yes,
it was 10 years prior to that, or 11 years prior to that film.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So many this film. Such a shame.
This film is it has so many layers, this film, and it could have been so much better. But because we're Trekkies, we're gonna watch it when it comes out.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I just think that the thing is, unfortunately, this thing was moldy at its core because it just didn't have a strong baseline story.
Yeah.
This film was never going to work because we didn't have. Why weren't you bringing back a villain of some sort of thing? Like, if you're going to be derivative of some of the older Star Trek, like Star Trek 2, back to TNG era, and pull a villain and bring them back.
Yeah, they never finished Artemis.
This film should have been the Butt Bug movie.
The Butt Bug, yeah.
The Return of Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Or how about this? Bring in the Romulans. We don't really have a movie or real episodes where we're truly fighting head on Romulans. We have a Cold War going on that happens as in we don't like each other, we don't share information, we don't support each other. But have they really faced each other?
You're right, they don't. And even in the next movie, even though they are in the next movie, they're not the focus of the next movie.
No, they're the Remans.
And it's really about the Revens in the next movie.
Remans, yeah.
The Remans.
It's about the Remans. It's about the Remans. And they end up helping us for 30 seconds. Then their ship can't handle the fight.
Yeah.
How dope would that movie have been? Instead of Shinzon, it was Tasha Yar's character, that the Romulan.
Yes, the daughter.
Sheila, Tila, something
amazing.
Like that. That would have been amazing.
It would have been excellent.
Yeah.
Tie it all together with the Dominion War, folks. You've got yourself a big blockbuster film.
Yeah. Hey, since the Romulan Empire was weakened from the Dominion War, I took over.
Right.
I'm the boss.
That's right.
And then you can still have Shinzon there with a clone of you that I'm just going to use as a weapon, That would have been dope.
Exactly. And the thing is that would have been perfect because it finally gives us more insight. We have an entire movie to really get into the Romulan.
Yeah.
What an interesting enemy is the Romulans. And we've not scratched the surface with them.
No, we haven't. Which is disappointing.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, hopefully one day out there, now Trek's so healthy.
Yeah.
That we can. Because what are the Romulans now in Discovery timeline year 3?
They're Navarians. There's no more Romulans because remember, in Star Trek Beyond,
that's what they say. But
right.
There's no perfect culture. There's always going to be a small rebellion somewhere. So I think the Romulans are still around. They're just in underground.
Yeah,
they're too volatile people not to have kind of that underpinning their
Yes.
rebellion.
I mean, I think that what's known is that the Vulcans and Romulans merged and became Navarian. But there's always, like Jay says, that little group of
Outliers.
people
Yeah.
of
Yep.
outlaws that say we're mixing this up. We are Romulans through and through.
Yeah.
And they got on a ship and left, just like the Klingons. They got on a ship and left and ended up in the Delta Quadrant with Voyager. They
Yeah.
didn't want to follow what was happening with the Klingons at that time. 100 years later, they're in the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah.
That could be the story for the
Romulans.
Romulans. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd love to see him come back.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then you also have the Jat Vav, right? Isn't that the Legolas?
Yes.
The Legolas for the Picard. We have that.
Yeah,
Zach,
Vav.
and then you have
Space
the
Legolas.
yeah,
Yeah.
Space Legolas. So
This film, this was what the lowest at the time, the lowest grossing Star Trek.
yes,
Mm.
until
Only
the
me
next
to be
movie.
beaten by the next film, which we'll talk
Yeah.
about when we do the next film. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't good. It
Nope.
wasn't good. And again, like I just said before, the overcorrection they make is also a recognition that they knew they misfired with Insurrection.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you watch this film, does even the title feel appropriate for this movie?
No. No,
There
I don't
was
see a
no
bunch of guys
insurrection.
saying
Yeah.
make the Federation great again and try to like storm the Capitol.
Make the Federation great again. I love that subtitle.
Yeah, they missed the mark.
I would have called it Star Trek. Boring ass.
Right, yes,
white
maybe,
people.
like, yes, there it is. It could have been so many different
Yeah.
things. Like
Yeah.
even unification would have worked because it's basically in the end that twist. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
this one,
Well, that's it.
Yeah, but there
That
was
is
no
an interesting-
insurrection of any kind
no,
No.
at all.
Not at
No.
all. Yeah.
No.
Like
They did-
no attempt to overthrow.
No.
They were weak as piss. They didn't want to overthrow anyone.
No,
Like,
they couldn't.
they were a village full of victims here. They weren't
Yeah.
gonna armor up and
But they were victims by choice because they choose not to fight back. And I can respect if someone doesn't want to fight back, but then you have to put up with the consequence of that, just like fighting back
Exactly.
has consequences, not fighting has consequences. And for them, not fighting, the consequence is you lose the planet that's keeping you alive.
yeah,
Because they really are not biologically
here's the
supposed to
other
live
thing,
that
Nita.
long.
The recognition of the stretchy face guys,
Oh, stretchy
the Botox
buckoos.
twins, maybe.
yeah,
The fact that they know those people,
yeah,
knew that they left, and knew that they were pretty angry people,
yeah.
and you
Yeah.
put nothing in place to eventually deal with the fact that they may or may not return.
Right.
Mhm.
They're kind of like lemmings, those people.
Yeah,
They
even a
really
little-
are.
I mean, didn't that kid
Yeah.
have a little lemming? Wasn't that a lemming type of thing?
Oh no, you know what lemmings are. They kind of like follow each other off a cliff. They're very
Yeah. But the little
Yeah.
boy had like a little animal that crawled.
no.
on it.
Oh
might
yeah,
have
it
been
had
a
a
little
little
alien
mouse
thing.
or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But they really were just like there's so many questions,
Yeah,
questions
they
around
truly
it.
were a lot.
Not
of,
only
yeah.
in the hippie villagers' point of view, but then again, what Federation, like what Picard does.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
so.
Mhm. And
I
you
feel
know,
like it diminished his character. This film.
Yeah.
absolutely, because it goes back to what Shaw says. This was about him getting his group back.
Yeah.
Because when they were trying to move the indigenous people from the planet because they had split the planets with the Cardassians, and they said, "Oh, now your planet falls under Cardassian rule." In season 7, remember when Wesley joins the Travelers? That episode. Okay, so he argues with the admiral. The admiral says, "I argued that point too. This is, you got to do this." What did he do? He did it. Why?
Mhm.
Because he was ordered to. Because that is what a captain would do.
You
Yeah.
have to follow
He
orders.
did the right thing by following orders.
Right.
There was no prime directive in the Baku's case. There was nothing keeping these people there. I don't think they should have been moved. I absolutely believe that was the wrong thing to do.
Mm.
But that doesn't make what he chose to do and the reasons they're trying to give it this this great altruistic reason for it, but it really wasn't. It's all about him getting some.
Right.
Yeah, I think you've
really
given the
is.
quote of the show, hit it and quit it, Picard. Because
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Exactly.
Hit it, quit it, Picard. So,
Exactly.
Oh,
all right.
man.
All right, Joe, should we move on to
Yeah, let's fire at will.
Star Trek?
Oh,
No, fire. We've done fire.
Yeah,
at will.
this is all.
Oh yeah, we fired.
this is kind
Let's
of
do
done.
our fun thing. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, let's go and do stupid Star Trek questions.
It's time for stupid Star Trek questions.
All righty, the original and the best. Here we
Yeah.
go. We've got our stupid Star Trek question this week, which is a long one, Joe. You put
Yeah.
this one forward.
I got you, buddy.
Okay.
Tribbles was a great follow-up to this, and this is the one of our
He's
most
referring to Errand of Mercy.
Errand of Mercy, which was last week's 2 weeks ago episode.
Yep.
But otherwise, us fans have no idea in canon what became of the Organian peace treaty. If I'm wrong, love to know. When the Organians leave their physical body, like a Maya leaving its physical body, is this evidence that Star Trek exists in the Tolkien mythos? Organia is where the straight path across the sea leads. So if you're, this is great because I love Lord of the Rings. So this is an amalgamation of Star Trek and Lord of the Rings.
No, it's not. It's not. That's personal headcanon fantasy.
For sure. For sure.
But there's interesting thing about the question really is what happened to the Organian Treaty?
Yeah.
What happened to it? Do you remember that episode, Nina? You probably have to play catch up here. Errand of Mercy, where they go to this planet. We've got their Klingon leader, Core, comes to invade it. Yeah, and they don't believe in violence whatsoever.
Mhm.
And, they don't let them fight.
Kinda like
And then
this.
they end up going into little blue sparkles and disappearing. Right? So they're an energy form as such. With that. But they did have a treaty. What the hell happened with that treaty? So I decided to look it up. So let's have a
look at you.
Look at me. So the treaty of now you may not let me zoom in a bit more if I can. Wherever the zoom button is, so we can kind of see if we can.
There we go.
Here we go. The Treaty Organian, known as the Organian Peace Treaty, was an agreement enforced by those people, a race of powerful, incorporeal. What is it?
Corporeal.
Yeah, corporeal. Sorry, beings of Organia. Upon the United Federation of Planets and the Klingon Empire, ending the Federation Klingon War in 2267. That was a good reminder, by the way, guys. That episode ended the war.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
So, but the treaty, when does it break? Because according to the terms of the treaty, each side could lay claim to a disputed planet inside the neutral zone between the two powers and was given the opportunity to demonstrate its ability to develop that planet most efficiently. Also, each side was able to be granted to use the other people's facilities on the planet. So that kind of led to them trying to slowly work together.
Right.
All right. The Treaty of Organia was eventually superseded, though, by the Khitomer Accords of 2293. So that the reason that Organia Treaty is known because it was superseded.
Yep.
Yeah, the Khitomer Accord.
Yeah, which bore out the Organians having predicted that the Klingons and the Federation would one day become friends. So superseded also says to me, guys, that it's because of that original treaty is led to the Khitomer Accords and obviously the Great Relationship. Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
It was very interesting.
That episode actually had major implications across the entire franchise.
Yeah, that would come out another 40 years later, I want to say. Because the Khitomer was Star Trek 6, right?
Yeah, the Khitomer Accords are
Star Trek 6,
yeah, 20 years later. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's when every time you have a doubt where you're thinking silly science fiction and that, you see examples like this where it is so interwoven, it's so structured so well, the entire universe, not for lack of a better word, that it's just so brilliantly executed. Like, it's executed so brilliantly.
Right.
So I love that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
The fact that episode where they stopped them, because that's a great twist at the end of that episode.
Yeah, they were like cute.
They seem like a bunch of pussies, but really, in the end, you find out they were the ones who were metal all along.
Yeah, we had the real
operating at a higher level.
Yeah,
you know.
So it really wasn't a stupid Star Trek question. It was quite interesting.
Oh yes. But we're judgmental here, Nita. So every question is stupid. But we appreciate the stupid questions, and please keep firing them along, guys. How do they fire them to us? How should they get stupid Star Trek questions to us,
If
Joe?
you have an amazing stupid Star Trek question, you can simply click on the comment section below this video, not in the live chat, and hit us up on the Instagrams. If you hit us up on Instagram, follow us, like, share, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Leave a comment of your stupid Star Trek question, or hit us up on Twitter, Captain Squadron. Of course, very easy to find us. To do those wonderful things, your stupid Star Trek question will appear on the show, and we of the Star Trek show, the Captain Squadron, will answer it brilliantly. So yes, there it is.
All right. But we've got the sci-fi queen herself here.
Yes.
We've got to let her plug her show.
Yeah. So I laid the foundation for you to plug now. You plug.
Yeah, you plug away.
Definitely. Our next episode is going to be on October 18th at 8 p.m.
Oh, that's pretty.
Time. Oh, that's really nice. I like that.
Don't worry, Nita. It's already in your messenger.
And actually, we're going to be doing a special episode with our newest sci-fi queen, Tiffany. We're going to be talking about and giving you all the updates on what's new and what's happening with science fiction. On TV, movies, she's going to bring the updates. It's going to be all about the information. So if you want to know what's going on, that's the episode to watch on October 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Thread, all under Sci-Fi Queens.
All right.
Brilliant.
Good job.
That's a smart thing. Having all the, because if you look at your address here, youtube.com / sci-fi queens.
Right.
It's easy. You don't have to type in a million words. It's not convoluted.
Absolutely.
Fine.
Yes.
Yep.
And quadrant isn't too hard to spell, but some people do misspell it. So I also Captain's Quadrant.
And we actually have a new website, that Tiffany is kind of tweaking. I created a website for us, and Tiffany is tweaking it up a little bit. So that'll be out there soon for everyone to be able to send us messages and comment and check us out as well.
Awesome.
And that'll be at sci-fiqueens.com?
Sci-fiqueens.net.
.net. Fantastic. Okay. Love it.
Awesome. All right. And I think that wraps it up for this week. We have had a lot of fun. It was great to see you again, Nita.
It was wonderful being here, guys.
Yeah. We will.
It's like being home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Star Trek: The Voyage Home.
Yes, The Voyage Home.
This is a better movie.
Yeah, it was way better than this movie. Jesus. We will be back next week, hopping into Lower Decks.
Whoa!
Lower Deck time. We are back in the animated room. That's going to be a bit of fun.
Yeah. And then that will be a blast. There's some things that have been leaking online. It's no secret Harry Kim returns in this.
It's in the trailer.
It's in the trailer. Yeah.
When is it that they return with season 5? When is their
October 24?
Correct.
Yes.
Right after my birthday. So happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you.
That's why they did it, Joe.
And that Monday
Paramount got together.
Yeah, Paramount was like,
how are we going to release this?
Happy birthday, Joe.
Yeah, there you go, Joe.
Yes. Jace made it happen for you.
Yeah, I know you did. He pulled the strings from Australia. Yeah, I know. It's true.
Well, he's the future people. So people know what's best.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. I can give out those lotto numbers.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We are going to be back next week. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we'll see you then.
See you guys.
Make it so.